The moment burned into me happened in full daylight, not under stars or shadows, but beneath a pale blue sky that made everything painfully clear. I was standing on the front steps of a house I'd known for years, my keys already in my hand, my mind already telling me to go, when she looked at me with a kind of quiet panic that stopped my breath. It wasn't dramatic or loud. It was worse than that. It was the look of someone realizing they were about to lose something they never thought they were allowed to want. And in that second, I knew leaving would change us forever. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet moments that shape our lives, my name is Arav, and for most of my adult life, I thought I understood my place in the world. I was the dependable one, the guy who showed up early, stayed late, and never crossed lines that shouldn't be crossed. Rohan, my best friend since college, trusted me with everything, including his family. His younger sister, Mira, had always been part of the background of our lives, present, but untouchable. A familiar face at weekend lunches and daytime errands, someone I noticed without allowing myself to look too closely. She was smart in a quiet way, observant, carrying herself like someone who had learned early not to ask for too much. Over time, without me realizing it, she became woven into my routine. We ran errands together in the afternoons, talked about work and dreams while walking through sunlit streets, shared small laughs that lingered longer than they should have. The problem was never a single moment. It was the slow accumulation of them. The way she listened when I spoke really listened, like my words mattered. The way her smile softened when she thought no one was watching. The way being around her made the world feel calmer, more honest. I fought it the way people fight feelings they think are wrong by pretending they don't exist. I reminded myself of Rohan, of loyalty, of rules that kept life simple. I told myself that admiration wasn't love, that care didn't mean connection, but the heart doesn't care about logic, and daylight doesn't hide anything when you're brave enough to see. Everything came to a head on an ordinary afternoon. The house was filled with the sounds of life moving forward. Distant traffic, a radio playing somewhere, the smell of tea cooling in cups we'd forgotten to finish. Rohan had stepped out for work, leaving Mara and me in a silence that felt heavier than noise. We talked about small things, then bigger ones, then nothing at all. And in that stillness, I realized I couldn't keep pretending. The right thing, the honorable thing, was to leave before I crossed a line I couldn't erase. So I stood up, made an excuse, and walked toward the door with my heart pounding like it was trying to warn me. That was when she looked at me. No words, no drama. Just her eyes asking a question she didn't dare speak. In that look was fear, hope, and something achingly close to trust. It wasn't about romance or confession. It was about being seen, about not being abandoned. In a moment of truth, I felt torn in half. Every instinct telling me to protect her, to protect my friendship, to protect myself. I stepped outside into the bright afternoon sun, feeling like I had chosen safety over honesty, and it haunted me. Days passed, then weeks. I tried to bury myself in work, in routine, in anything that didn't remind me of her. But life has a way of circling back. Rohan noticed my distance, my distraction. Mira grew quieter, more guarded. The warmth we'd built didn't disappear, but it faded, and that felt worse than a clean break. Eventually, the weight of silence became heavier than the fear of truth. I realized that kindness isn't always about staying away. Sometimes it's about standing still and facing what scares you. I didn't rush in with grand gestures. I chose honesty, careful and respectful. I spoke to Rohan first in the light of day, with nothing hidden and nothing exaggerated. It was one of the hardest conversations of my life, filled with pauses and uncertainty, but also with the kind of respect only real friendship can survive. Not everything was resolved instantly, and not every feeling found a perfect place, but something important shifted. The truth was no longer a secret. When Mira and I finally spoke again, it was calm, grounded, real, no promises, no rushing, just two people acknowledging what had already existed. That day, in the open air and honest light, I understood that her look on those steps wasn't asking me to stay forever. It was asking me not to disappear without meaning. And sometimes that alone can change everything. If this story stirred something in you, if it reminded you of a moment you almost walked away from, Please like, comment, and share this video so it can reach someone who needs it today. Before the ending special request, comment your thoughts below and tell us what you would have done in that moment. Because some connections don't shout to be noticed. They wait quietly in the daylight, hoping you're brave enough not to turn your back when it matters.